Sports Network presents college basketball. Tonight it's the Battle of Northern Boulevard as the New York Tech Bears tangle with the CW Post Pioneers. This telecast is being brought to you by Miller High Life, the best beer for the best time of the day. Welcome to Miller Time. And by Toyota, who remind you that it's a good feeling to buckle up for safety. And by the Bank of New York, the bank smart New Yorkers call their own. Hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Landers, along with Stan Kellner, and a great rivalry, Stan, renewed again tonight, the Battle of Northern Boulevard. Anytime these two clubs get together, it's a war.
It was a war when I was here a few years ago. Tommy Galizzi has brought a real winning tradition here. It's a very important game, not only the bragging rights of Northern Boulevard, the block, but also an important key game for both teams because they both see themselves in a tournament at the end of the season. It's a must-win for both ball clubs.
Both clubs come in with impressive records. Tech 4-0 and Post 3-1. Tech's record a little bit on the deceiving side. They've played basically 3 Division III schools, 1 Division II school, winning last night decisively over Queens. Stan, this is a very young New York Tech club that Sam Stern, back coaching after being out for 2 years, has. One of the key players, a young man by the name of Kenny Robinson.
Kenny Robinson is an excellent player. Stevenson High School in the Bronx, AAU champion, kind of a ball player that, well, he's got it all. He doesn't go to the basket as well as he should, but he's only a freshman. He's a dead eye from 15 to 20 feet. He's going to have to be guarded, and the job is going to go to Kevin Horton. And on the other side, the big guy at 6'8", Mo Sanford. He's been the franchise pretty much the last couple of years. Excellent offensive player, lacks a little bit defensively, but he's a guy that's going to have a big game too. I remember Mo Sanford played at Niagara University a few years ago. Sat out a year, became eligible here. Exciting ball player, but not very consistent. He likes to take that jump shot outside. Last year, he burned Post from the outside and scored 20-plus points. He has to be stopped.
All right, Tech, as we said, a very inexperienced club. They may start 3 freshmen tonight. Let's talk about this Post club coming off their best year in a long time, 22-9, an NCAA bid. Tom Galizzi has some new front court people, and of course he's got the guy you had, the guy that brings a smile to your face, that great backcourt kid by the name of Greg Dixon.
He's got 2 new ball players in that team, starting team. 1 ball player, of course, is Kevin Dixon that we're talking about, that really runs the show. He has broken all the records over here in steals. He's majoring in police science, but he has stolen 170-plus passes last year. He is very dynamic, and watch him on defense. He plays the second layer on the press, and he steals the ball, and he really picks pockets.
So Tom Galizzi has moved Kevin Horton from a forward spot to a guard spot. He's a very good shooter. He's been dishing out something like 5 assists a game. He's an outstanding sophomore, Kevin Horton.
Has 1 more assist than Greg Dixon, which tells a lot. He's 6'4", 6'5", likes the open court, so he's a natural at the 2 spot. Of course, the big problem is, can he play defensive guard? And he's doing very well.
Stan, a guy that's off to a great start, a guy that'd be interesting to see the matchup between the 2 Brooklyn kids. Mo Sanford out of Brooklyn against Mike Henderson, who really seems to have blossomed this year.
Mike Henderson's playing a very physical game, Barry. He's playing inside. He wants the ball. He's going to the basket. He's shooting very well from the free throw line, shooting about 60% from the floor. Very exciting and maturing.
Okay, so the stage set for tonight's confrontation, and my colleague Carl Reuters standing by with both coaches. We'll be back in just a moment. With that, you're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
After you win a tough race, you want to take it easy, but you don't want to slow down.
It's all yours, and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here, the rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. So welcome to Miller time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
All Reuters down here on the floor before the start of tonight's game between CW Post and New York Tech. I have standing on both sides of me the coaches for tonight's game. To my right, Sam Stern of New York Tech. To my left, Tom Galizzi of CW Post. Let's go to you, Coach Galizzi, first. Your team is coming in to a game. You won last night. Tech won last night. But let's talk a little bit about a big matchup in the middle tonight. Mike Henderson against Maurice Sanders.
Well, they're very fine basketball players, both of them, and I think it'll be an excellent matchup between the 2 of them. both are similar in some respects, a little different in others. Sanford is more of a jump shooter type player. Henderson's more of a inside type player.
Will you look to run tonight? And as far as defense, do you like a zone, or you go man-to-man, or do you change and mix it up?
Well, we're going to go according to the situation, the tempo of the ball game. We certainly won't be playing the same thing the whole night.
All right, Coach Stern, let's come over to you now. Your team is undefeated right now, 4-0, coming off some big wins last night, and of course the tournament win in Illinois over this past weekend. There's a good matchup in the backcourt tonight. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Greg Dixon and Benji Bowman, two experienced players. Dixon, I think, a little bit more offensive oriented than Benji is, but Benji runs the club and gets the ball to the people that we'd like to get it to. So I think you're right; it'll be a good matchup.
It's a rivalry, a big rivalry. The schools are right down the road from each other. How much more of that will come into play tonight?
A lot more. I think the kids on the team are much more aware of that. They talk about post all year long, and I think they make it that much more of a pressure situation, I think, for themselves.
Let me go to Coach Galizzi. Let me ask you also, you come off a win last night. New York Tech comes off a win from last night also. Were the kids kind of maybe overlooking last night and get off to a little bit of a slow start, overlooking last night's game and looking forward to tonight?
Actually, we played very well last night. We shot the ball extremely well. We made our foul shots. We out-rebounded Pace, who is much improved this year. And we certainly realized that last night's ball game was important because it was a conference game for us. And we have to win the conference. No question about that.
So last night with the conference win, so you say the guys were set for last night. Now, are they ready for tonight's game?
I think they are. I think when you have a type of rivalry that we do, being so close to each other, it doesn't take too much to get everybody excited for this game. You can see the crowd in the stands. We've got television coverage. I think it's great for Long Island basketball.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Coach Stern of New York Tech, Coach Galizzi of CW Post, and we'll be back with the opening tap following this timeout. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
I pressed a lot of quarterbacks in my day, and I'm real sorry. So I wrote this letter. Dear quarterbacks, I apologize for the way I've treated you. Please let me buy you a light beer from Miller. Light's my beer because it tastes great. I'm sure it's yours too, because you little guys can't afford to get filled up. Hope to see you soon. Sincerely, L.C. Greenwood.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
Back here at Conley Gymnasium, Barry Landry, Stan Kellner, and Carl Reuter as we are waiting the introduction to the starting lineups in this Battle of Northern Boulevard. And let's go to PA announcer Rich Kahn for the lineups.
Welcome to Conley Gymnasium. Tonight it's the New York Tech Bears and the Pioneers of CW Post. Here are tonight's starting lineups. For New York Tech at the forwards, number 22, a 6'3" junior from Marbury, Maryland, Al Davis. The other forward, number 45, a 6'7" freshman from New York City, Morris Brown.
Brown will have to do a big
number
job
54, a 6'8" senior from Brooklyn, New York, Maurice Sanford. And at the guards, number 33, a 6-foot junior from the Bronx, Benji Bowman. And number 21, a 6-foot freshman from the Bronx, Ken Robinson. The head coach of the Bears, Sam Stern.
This is a big test for them tonight. And Kenny Robinson's really going to have his hands full with a very tricky guy defensively like Greg Dixon. That should be an interesting match.
But it's not going to match up that way, Barry. Dixon is going to go on Benji Bauman. Kenny Robinson will be guarded by Kevin Horton.
And there are the Post Pioneers being introduced first. And this is the guy that we didn't talk about in the outset, Larry Jones, a freshman out of Uniondale High School. He's starting up front along with another outstanding player, Mike Clark, 6'5", 205-pound junior who's averaging 13.5 points a game. We talked about Mike Henderson, and we talked about Greg Dixon, and there's a look at the guard situation. And here is Greg Dixon being introduced as we're set to go. Greg Dixon and Kevin Horton will work in the backcourt. Up front, you'll see Mike Clark, Mike Henderson, and Larry Jones. So they're starting two new forwards, and they've got to work those guys in. A freshman, Larry Jones, who's averaging 8.5 points a game out of Uniondale, and the other guy, Mike Clark, a transfer from Union Community College, 6'5", 205, out of Jersey City, averaging 13.5 points, Stan. Now the crowd rising here at Conley Gymnasium, the jam-packed crowd rising for the singing and playing of our national anthem. This is the 20th meeting between these two teams. Post owning a 13-6 advantage, as you can see. And last year, Tech won 85-70. The last Post win 2 years ago here, 72-60. But it's always quite a confrontation when these two clubs get together. And we're set to go here as the Tech Bears and the Post Pioneers clash again, this time for their 20th meeting. And Stan, any keys you see in the early going? Anything we can look for?
Post will play coast-to-coast defense. They will try to put as much pressure on the young Tech ball club as soon as they can get out there on the court. It'll be full court zone pressure. There'll be full court man-to-man pressure. They'll keep pressure up on the ball because they've got to strip the Tech Bears of their half-court offense, and they've got to make them play at a pace that they'd rather not play at.
All right, so we're getting set here. Mo Sanford, number 54. As you can see, the Post lineup, Jones and Clark and Henderson up front, Dixon and Horton at the guards. Sanford jumping with Henderson, and it's New York Tech with the ball. We'll identify the players. Benji Bowman is 33, the transfer student from Florida 7. He played under Hal Whistle. Remember Hal Whistle, who was coach at Fordham for a while? We'll talk about Benji a little bit later on. As they work the ball, Kenny Robinson putting it up and in. And he's a guy, as we've said earlier, Stan, he's a flashy kid. He's averaging 15.5 points a game. The best outside shooter on the club, and he's going to have a big game.
He's not going to go all the way to the basket, but he'll take that jump shot. He'll drive for daylight and shoot it up.
And putting it up this time, number 31, Mike Clark missing. Henderson, the follow-up, no good. Tip, no good. Henderson fighting inside, draws the foul, and it'll go against Kenny Robinson, the 6-foot freshman from Stevenson High School in the Bronx. But that's something that we may keep an eye on as Post dominated the offensive boards 3 times there.
Mike Clark shot that shot. He's shooting 42% from the field. He's got to get back into the offense before he shoots that ball up. He's a little over-anxious. He's got to slow it down a little bit.
At the free throw line now, the big guy Henderson off to a great start. He's a senior. He's paid his dues here, coming off a big game last night. 27 points and 11 rebounds in the big victory over Pace. A very impressive opening Big Apple victory, 86-73. Mike at the free throw line so far this year, just 60%. Last year, he was 72% from the line. He's averaging 18.5 points a game, and he puts Post on the board. So Tech leads 2-1. We're going to get some full court pressure here.
Man-to-man pressure. They're going to try to match up on this, and they'll go back into a man-to-man. It's sort of a soft press, but they're trying to double up when the ball gets over court.
Bowman stolen away by that guy, Greg Dixon, and he leads the attack up court. Is falling hard to the floor with Henderson. He gets up okay. Look to set it up, cross court, good pass, entry pass. Henderson, poor shot, and the rebound yanked down by big number 45. Morris Brown, the 6'7 freshman from JFK High School in New York City. He's averaging 8.7 rebounds, that young freshman. He can really jump, Morris Brown. Sanford has it stuffed in his face, alternate possession, and let's see, the ball's going to go over the other way to the Post Pioneers. Quite a defensive play right there.
Mo Sanford is going to go into the middle and take the shot. He thinks he's fouled on this shot, but he isn't. It's all ball. You can touch the ball. If the hand is on the ball, it's no foul.
Larry Jones with the defensive play, the youngster out of Uniondale High School, number 34. Dixon. Down low, that's Jones. He'll follow it. Foul again. So we've seen 2 or 3 possessions here. Rebounding problems for New York Tech in the early going.
Post is using their power, using their strength to get inside. Now Kevin Horton sets this up. Now Kevin Horton 6'4", 6'5", bringing that ball in, leading the team in assists, and there's Larry Jones at that second effort coming back to the iron.
Jones averaging 8.5 points, 5 rebounds a game, has 6 for 6 from the line. He starred for Russ Bastian. He was an all-county performer, and he misses his first free throw of the year. Had a high of 11 points against Gannon. And there's a look at Tom Galeese, one of the winningest coaches in college basketball around. Former coach at Suffolk Community, coached for many years at Farmingdale, had a great run there, Stan. Doing quite a job here at Post over the last 3 years.
Done a great job recruiting, bringing in the ball players. His guard, Kevin Horton, is 2 inches bigger than my center 3 years ago.
All right, so the free throw's missed. Post trailing 2-1. Benji Bowman over to Mo Sanford. Sanford going baseline. He's a fine offensive player. Doesn't get it. And the rebound yanked down by C.W. Post. And the good rebound from Mike Clark, number 31. Dixon working on Bowman. Pulls up. Tough luck. Look at Henderson follows. A basket count that he was fouled. So the early pattern being set here as Post dominating the offensive boards.
You're going to see Henderson going to the board. Now, he not only goes up vertically, but he goes up horizontally on this rebound. There it is vertical. Now, let him move horizontal to the other side, using his shoulders to square off, protecting the ball, and 2 points for the Post Pioneers.
So at the free throw line will be Henderson trying to complete a 3-point play and put his club in front. 4-2, and he gets it. So Post is in front, 4-2. We played 2 minutes and 3 seconds of this first half. The Islanders, along with Dan Keller and Carl Reuter. As Dixon nearly steals it from Henderson, the freshman loose on the floor, and we're going to get a foul called on Benji Bowman. So Robinson coughed it up against the pressure of Greg Dixon, and they look a little rattled right now, the Tech Bears.
Kevin Dixon, Greg Dixon, he has a brother named Kevin, incidentally, but Greg Dixon gets this right on the chest, playing the passing lane, dives for the ball. Well, here comes Kevin Horton, diving for the ball, playing very aggressively. There's no walk because there was no possession on the ball to begin with, and he draws the foul.
Al Davis in the game, number 22, defensively for the Tech Bears. There's that much put up and in from the outside, and the first 2 points of the ball game shot up there for the CW Post Pioneers on that jumper.
That proves 1 point to me, that if you play good defense, the ball opens up, the basket opens up for you for offense. Kevin Horton knocking in the basket.
Kevin Horton, good shooter. He can shoot it from that range. Post leading by 4, trying to make it 6. And it is off the shot by Mike Clark. The 6'5", 205-pound junior now with 2 points. Transfer from Union Community College, and now Sam Stern says, hey, fellas, let's talk it over. Let's have a timeout right here. We're down by 8-2.
Only 3 baskets difference, but the Bears realize that the Pioneers are hunting bear tonight, playing very physically. The guards are putting super pressure up on the ball. The big guys are playing the glass very well, and so far you can really color this all Post.
Well, turnovers so far. Tech has committed 2 Post none as we look at Tom Galeese. And Post with 5 rebounds to Tech's 2. I think it's even more than that. And let's take another look at that last Post 2 points here.
Here's a fast break. The ball's going to get into Dixon. He's going to get an assist on this play. He's going to put the ball on the floor. But he's looking wings. Now, one thing I like about Greg is he's not apt to take that extra dribble. He finds his open man, Mike Clark, on the right side, shooting 42% from the floor, but he cans this one.
Clark, very smooth, has a good jumper. He's done an excellent job so far. Had a high of 17 points against Quinnipiac. And let's see if we've had any substitutions made here for the New York Tech Bears. They'll work with Bowman in the backcourt. And he'll work along with number 21, Kenny Robinson. Also in the game, 22, Al Davis, 6'3", junior from Marbury, Maryland, a transfer from Trinidad Junior College. And that is Al Davis right there. Back out to Kenny Robinson. Important possession here for Tech, Stan. They're down by 6. They had the game taken away momentarily, and here's another steal by Dixon, his third of the game. Greg, who set all records last year for steals, driving all the way off to Henderson, and as he put it up, he was fouled. So Post looking very sharp here in the early going, getting the break going, and it'll be against Post Sanford.
An assist here by Iannone. John Iannone, the official, hits his feet. Now, of course, the official is in play. Dixon getting the ball again, reading wings, picks up the ball, and is always reading the wings. If he can't see the block, he looks for the wing, he makes his penetration, makes the defensive player come off. There it is to Mike Henderson, and Mike knocks it in off the glass board.
Sanford commits the foul. That's his second. They can ill afford to have their big 6'8", 220-pound senior, who played at Boys High School in Brooklyn, was a First City All-Star, get into foul trouble. They've had a run right now of 8 points in a row. Actually, 9 in a row. It was 2-0, you'll recall. Henderson looking for his 6th point. He is 3 for 5 at the line, and he doesn't get it, and we'll have alternate possession this time. Now it'll go over to the New York Tech Bears as the arrow points that way. So Tech gets it, down 9-2, Stan. 3 minutes and 24 seconds have elapsed in this first half of basketball here from Connolly's Gymnasium. A jam-packed crowd on hand for this Battle of Northern Boulevard. Bowman against Dixon, now trapped as they look for the steal with Clark. Davis. Benji Bowman.
Tech has to establish some kind of an offense. They don't really have a pattern. They've had Mo Sanford driving from the wings. They've had Kenny Robinson taking a J, but they really haven't established any kind of an offense, and you've got to credit Post defense.
Well, Stan, we haven't talked about the absence of Curtis Middleton, and we will when we get a chance to, as Kenny Robinson misses from the outside. A foul away from the ball underneath. Looks like the big guy, Mike Henderson, is going to be called for the foul. On Henderson, that'll be his first, and on the team, that'll also be their first team foul. But a guy like Curtis Middleton, 6'6", 200-pounder, who averaged 7 points last year, sat on the bench in the first half, played very well in the second half of the season. Kid out of Walton High School in the Bronx. He's academically ineligible for this whole season, and they were counting on him to give them some muscle inside.
Well, we've got some size in there, but they got young size. Morris Brown is very young. There's another steal by Greg Dixon over to Horton.
Oh, and Horton leaves no doubt about that. That excites the crowd here. A la Willie Glass down at St. John's, 11-2 off the Horton stuff. Horton averaging 12.5 points a game, has 4. And the Post Pioneers, trying to avenge last year's loss, have come out storming here. Sanford cans it. So the 11-point run is over. They had scored 11 straight points.
Here's Post bringing the ball. Again, another steal. I think that's the 4th steal by Dixon. A deflection over to Horton. Now Horton whomps it right home. That's a high percentage shot.
And back to the live action. Henderson gets the layup. He has 7 points. So Henderson coming off the big ball game last night, picking up where he left off last night when he had 27 points, a career high, against Pace in the Big Apple Conference game. Tech and Independent, so far they've played, as we said earlier, Stan, they're 4-0, but the level of competition not very tough. They played 3 games against Division III schools, as we had a near travel on a wet spot there. Sanford will put it up, and as he dishes it off, we get a foul called. It'll go against the Post Pioneers, and our first substitution of the ball game for New York Tech checking into the ball game. Will be Rob Williams for New York Tech. Rob Williams checking into the ball game, number 4. And let's see what Williams can do while he's in there. Here's another steal. Dixon, and he was fouled. But Greg Dixon doing it with the defense, igniting the offense, as he has always done.
Greg Dixon is a consummate player. Look at him steal that ball, bring the ball down. Now watch how he uses his body to protect the ball and draw the foul. If he's not going to make this basket, he is going to be on the foul line. And of course, another foul for Tech, which puts them one step closer to the penalty.
Rob Williams, a 6'3", 190-pounder from Uniondale. And you see the free throw by Dixon missed.
Williams played for Tech 2 years ago, Barry. Sat out a year because of grades. Averaged 10 points 2 years ago, so he is a player.
And off the missed free throw, Tech trailing by 9, 13-4. They've got to get back in this game as Benji Bowman drops it on the near side. Another steal almost, but it's recovered by Kenny Robinson.
You've got to like Kevin Horton on defense. I mean, he is 6'4", quick, got long arms, and wants to play defense. That's a great combination, a very talented backcourt.
Bowman looking for help. Inside, the turnaround is up and in by Morris Brown, the 6'7" freshman, averaging 4 points. He gets his first 2 of the year. He averaged 15 points and 10 rebounds at JFK High School in New York City, where he won honorable mention. An all-city performer, had 11 points against Queens last night. Nice sweet touch from Mike Clark. He looks like he's got that fine jump shot.
And it was a nice assist by Kenny Horton, who made that skip pass. Again, he's 6'4", throwing over the defense, leading the post in assists.
Post leading 15-6, and Dixon looking for the steal. Called for a reach-in foul. He didn't like the call. He kind of smiles at it. That's the second on Dixon, and the third team foul against the Pioneers, so Tech will inbound.
Greg Dixon has a lot of moves, Barry, but he has only one facial expression, and that's "who me? You got to be kidding."
Did he have it that same look when you coached him?
The whole family has it. They're beautiful people, and you just can't. There's another steal by Greg.
And that's number 4 as he forces a turnover. And we'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network on the Miller High Life scoreboard. The Pioneers 15 and the Bears 6. But we're back to the live action here. And we have traveling called this time against the Post Pioneers, Kevin Horton. And now we will have time out on the court with 15-6 the score. So we will go to a break right now on the Miller High Life scoreboard. You are watching the Long Island Sports Network.
If you've been getting by with your old car because you couldn't swing the payments on a new one, you ought to get a goodbye loan from the Bank of New York at a guaranteed fixed annual rate. Then you can say hello to a nice new car and
Goodbye, old clunker.
to your old one. The Goodbye Auto Loan, only from the Bank of New York. Guaranteed fixed rate for new cars and current model used cars, 13.5%.
Barry Landis, Dan Kellner back here at courtside along with Carl Reuter, where the Post Pioneers, after seeing Tech score the first 2 points, ran off 11 in a row and right now lead 15-6. Turnover so far, Tech 6 and Post 1, and you can bet that Greg Dixon, we're going to check out Greg Dixon's steal total, but I believe he has about 4 steals already. And the rebound so far, Post out-rebounding Tech something like 7-3, with Henderson coming up with 3 rebounds. And right now it looks like CW Post in command. And what's Tech going to have to do, Stan, to turn the tempo around in their favor?
Well, they're going to have to beat the pressure, the guard pressure that's being asserted by the Pioneers. And the way to do that is either clear the court, and it's very difficult to clear the court against Post because they're really playing a matchup. So when the ball's on the floor, someone's going to run at the ball. Somebody inside has to post up. They have to hit the ball, get the ball to the wing, and then establish some kind of an inside offense. They really got their work cut out for them because Post is hunting bear tonight.
Well, they put a new point guard in the ball game right now for New York Tech, and we'll pick him up for you in just a moment as number 10 has checked into the lineup for New York Tech. Unfortunately, we don't have him on our roster. They've changed the numbers on us. And the shot will be put up and in the lane that time by New York Tech's Morris Brown. So Brown now with 4 points, and it cuts the Post lead to 7.
Now here's what we call a luck basket, an opportunity basket. Morris Brown is going to be looking for the ball. There's the apple. He picks it right up off the tree, comes up real soft, and knocks it in.
All right, Rob Williams is number 4. We told you a little bit about the Rob before. He had changed his number on us. Rob, 6'3", 190-pounder from Uniondale. That last foul on Tech's Rob Williams, it'll be a 1-and-1 situation as Larry Jones steps to the free throw line. Larry so far in the night 0 for 2 from the line. He's 6 for 8 on the year. And he cans this one. Larry averaging 8.5 points a game to go with 5.5 rebounds. Led the team in rebounds, and the only loss they suffered this year to Sacred Heart, 80-63. So he connects on the free throws now to make it 17-8. It's back to a 9-point lead, and they put some pressure on the ball.
13 minutes left in the first half, Barry, and Post has that bonus situation, which is a coach's wish.
Ball knocked away. And the layup, no good as they battle inside. Francis trying to get it. Recovered and laid up and in beautifully by Kevin Horton. Alert play by Kevin Horton.
And you don't teach that. See, Kevin Horton has really proven to me one thing, that he is an excellent guard. He is so big, but he is quick and he is alert to the ball. He picks up the ball. Incidentally, Dixon got his 5th steal just on the series before that.
All right, Michael Evans, number 10 in the ball game. That's Mike right there. Freshman out of Westbury High School, 5'10", 160-pounder. Played on some of the great Westbury teams that they've had. Robinson missing, puts it back up, no good. And the rebound picked up by Post. They'll quickly outlet down court. 2 more points. Oh, Larry Jones off the beautiful pass from Mike Clark as they ran that break to him very well.
Larry Jones went out like buckshot. He just accelerated because he smelled basket. Here he goes, number 34, Larry Jones going over everything. You know, when I hate to say this, but 4 years ago I coached here, we had 3 dunks for the entire season. 3 dunks. Now, they equaled our season's record.
Rob Williams committed that foul stand, his 3rd. So he committed the foul on one Uniondale player, and this Uniondale player, Larry Jones, misses. Jones so far on the evening with the total of 4 points. 21-8. It's a 13-point lead for Post. Down low, good fake, and it's up and in for Morris Brown. Brown looks like he can play, the freshman, 6 feet 7 inches tall. Out of JFK High School in New York City, he has 6 points already. His high 11 against Queens, and he's averaging 4 points a game. Open in the corner, and you can't leave that guy open. Mike Clark red hot, shooting 43% from the field. He connects.
He's made 3 now, so he's shooting over. He's shooting about 45, 46%. Very smooth. Loves to play guard. Now he's getting that shot because Tech opted to go 2-1-2, and when you go 2-1-2, you've got that slot over there. You got what we call a paint zone. 2 guys coming, converging defensively, paint mine, and paint mine. So he gets right into that little shooting slot, and he just threw it in.
Rob Williams commits the foul. I think we told you before that was 3 on Williams. That's only his 2nd now, as the free throw is missed by Jones. Now with Post leading 23-10, 11 minutes to go in the first half. Tech's got the ball. That's Michael Evans working with Benji Bowman in the backcourt. 33 is Bowman.
Now Post has gone into good position defense. They've taken the pressure off of the guards, but they're keeping everything tight inside.
Taking Mo Sanford out of the game. This is Doug Hayden. And Post doing just about everything right. Their break working very well off the good defense, and they lead by 15 points.
Well, that's it, Coach. That's it, Coach. Defense. That is really sparking the Post Pioneers.
Benji Bowman missing inside. Francis loses the ball. They've got a very young club out there. The ball knocked away. It's off Benji Bowman, and the Pioneers will play it in. Doug Hayden, who generally plays in a slowdown game, 6-foot junior from Holy Cross High School in Floral Park. He'll work in the backcourt right now with Kevin Horton as Greg Dixon getting a breather.
And that's very important to give Greg Dixon a breather.
Well, Hayden throws it away. That's just one of the few turnovers that Post has had here in the first half.
They look like Scott Brunner coming back for a pass.
An old Giant fan, never
Still a
dies,
Giant
he just
fan.
fades away.
No, we are punished. We get all kinds of psychosomatic diseases.
All right, Tech trying to get back in this game. They're down by 15. This very young ball club. And traveling on Rob Williams. So Williams having a tough game here. And checking back in the ball game will be Mo Sanford. So far this game, Sanford held to just 2 points. He is the main offensive threat. Mo Sanford averaging 14 points and 9 rebounds. And now we've got a substitution for CW Post. Number 43 checking into the ball game, John Perez, the very fine 6'4", 200-pound rugged senior from Michigan. He'll replace Mike Clark in the ball game. Clark sits down with 6 points. Up no good for Post, and off the miss by Kevin Horton. Tech brings it back. This is Michael Evans as they try to close within 13 here. Plenty of time left. Evans can't get the roll. Nice rebound for Kevin Horton. Boy, at 6'4", he can do a lot of things for you, especially playing the guard spot. He can rebound, he can assist, he can shoot. He's a fine player.
I love a big 2-guard. I even love a big 1-guard better. But, again, he's leading assists because he can see over everybody.
It'll stay in the hands of Post as Hayden saw it knocked out.
You got to appreciate, Barry, what Tom Galease's doing with his ball club. He used the press very effectively, but he didn't burn out his ball club with the press. He came back to good position defense. He's sloughing it off inside, but now they have to establish some kind of an offense themselves.
Michael Evans sits down, and New York Tech's made a substitution as they brought in Bobby Moses. 6'3", 170-pound freshman from Southampton into the lineup.
That's textbook basketball. The ball went around the perimeter. They kept looking inside. You're going to see John Press get the ball. There's the assist outside. Inside, there's Press wide open because they reversed the ball and they attacked the belly of the defense.
Unfortunately, the basket doesn't count, Stan, off a violation. So as they bring it across, they use just about everybody in the lineup. That's Benji Bowman outside. Working in the backcourt is Bobby Moses, the 6'3" freshman, number 23. Actually, will play a wing. As you see Bowman motion to his teammates to set up a play. Bowman, one of the few guys with experience out of Truman High School in the Bronx. Sanford finally starts to hit. And Sanford now with 4 points.
Barry, Sanford, you're going to see Sanford likes to go middle. He thinks middle every time. Larry Jones is giving him middle. He's not getting enough help. Now, if he's going to force him in or allow him to go middle, he needs the help. Otherwise, he's got to push him baseline.
Nice play by Perez as he knocked it away, but it goes up for 2 points the other way. So New York Tech with its first run of 4 in a row off the basket by James McCaskill, number 33, the 6'6", 185-pound freshman from New City and Lowell. Or check it, Benji Bowman.
You can learn so much by watching Sam Stern Ball Club and a Tom Galisi Ball Club, where both teams like to put pressure on the ball. And when Tech has come back into this ball game because they are pressuring themselves on defense, and that just makes everybody more alive.
Henderson knocking it out of bounds, so Tom Galisi says, I'm going to sit down Kevin Horton for a moment, and I'm going to play Greg Dixon, who's back in the lineup. So Dixon and Hayden are working the ball in the backcourt. Since the 11-2 post start, Tech has exchanged baskets here, so they're down right now by 11, 25-14. And let's see, traveling may be called. Tom Galisi jumping up off the bench, didn't like the call by the official, John Carilla. He's working with John Iannone. He thought there should have been a foul call.
John Iannone called the play under the basket. Now, there was a body contact there. Yes, he did fall. Yes, he did trip over and did walk, but you've also got to credit number 20, Tony Stakem. Now, Tony Stakem's not in there. Who made that trip inside?
I think it was Anthony Francis, number 30, was it? Yep. All right, Benji Bowman to play it in, number 33. Sanford, who would prefer taking that outside jumper at 6'8", 220, Stan, and then going and mixing it up inside. He's really a perimeter-type player, and it's tough when you're a coach. You don't have that much height when your biggest guy likes to stick it from outside. Nice shooting that time from Bobby Moses, the freshman from Southampton, as he gets his first 2 points.
On the other hand, you cannot take a Mo Sanford and put him inside unless he really wants to be inside and loves to be inside. He is where he wants to be.
Well, they've run off 6 in a row, and we have a foul on Benji Bowman as Doug Hayden wrestled the ball away. That'll be the second on Bowman. They're over the limit. And it'll be 1-1 for Doug Hayden. And we'll be back in just a moment on the Miller High Life scoreboard. It's post 25, New York Tech 16. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
Devlin, biggest game of the year, and you couldn't get tickets. Welcome to Miller Town.
He didn't.
He said,
It's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life. It takes guts to redesign one of the world's most popular cars. Introducing Toyota Corolla, Reborn. This sport liftback was reborn to please you with its balanced handling. Reborn to please your friends with its surprising performance. Reborn to please anyone with its low Toyota price. The 1984 Toyota Corolla Sport Liftback. Reborn to please the world.
Back here at Conley Gymnasium, Barry Landers, Stan Kellner, Carl Reuter, Post Pioneers leading the New York Tech Bears 25-16. 7:15 to go in the first half. And next week, the LISN will be back at St. John's University for a big doubleheader as Kathy Meehan will be on hand along with Ed Ingles for the girls' basketball confrontation. Manhattan going up against the very tough St. John's Lady Express team. And in the second game, it'll be Manhattan and St. John's men's clubs playing as Gordon Chiesa going to battle Luke Carnesecca. What a show that is when those two fellows get together, Stan, as we watch Hayden can the first free throw.
You know who Gordy Chiesa reminds me of? A psychotic in training.
He has nice things to say about you.
Oh, he's a great speaker. We had him at our camp this summer. A dynamic speaker. But boy, I'll tell you, is he up?
He is up. 2 free throws by Hayden, who's an excellent free throw shooter, and that stops a 6-point run. It had been 25-10 as Hayden nearly knocks it away, but it's recovered by Tech. Bowman.
Post has gone back into their full court zone press to see if they can get the tempo increased a little bit and to see if they could get the shot selection a little questionable by the Tech Bears.
Evans dropping it off nicely. Francis going high in the air, missing. Morris Brown fighting with Henderson, and Henderson ties him up, and on the alternate possession, it'll go over to the Post Pioneers. Well, Stan, that's about the 3rd or 4th time we've had that jump ball, the old term, the jump ball, with the tie-up. Didn't see it too much earlier this season.
The reason that you're getting so many tie-ups is that it's such an important game for both clubs that they're playing, they're contesting, combating every play. They're going for that ball, and so you've got 4 hands reaching for the ball, and a pair of hands in a white shirt, a pair of hands in a blue shirt, you got jump balls.
Mike Clark replaces Larry Jones in the lineup for the Post Pioneers. Clark did an excellent job. Turnaround by Henderson is good. Well, Henderson showing he can score facing the basket as well as score inside, 29-16. Henderson with another solid effort, 9 points in this first half.
Mike has put on some weight. He's 235 pounds, and he's real strong, and he hasn't lost any speed.
Well, he worked on a couple of things, Stan. He had the good offensive moves always. He's trying to work on his rebounding and his defense this year. And according to Tom Galeese, he has improved considerably there. Bowman knocked away nicely. Up ahead, this is Greg Dixon, and is stripped to the ball, and we have Dixon losing it. No foul on the play. Now we got a substitution. Doug Hayden replaced by Kevin Horton.
Well, Dougie Hayden's coming out. He made a super play on that play to Dixon, but Greg made a mistake by looking for footsteps rather than going right to the glass.
Hayden sits down with 4 points and traveling called on the youngster from Southampton.
But you see what Greg did? He went right back into the defense, and he caused a turnover by forcing the dribbler to put the ball on the floor before he was ready.
Charlie Thomas, number 41 in the ballgame for CW Post. And that guy, Mike Clark's having quite a first half. I don't think he's missed, Dan. 4 for 4. Clark showing some fine outside shooting ability. Off the steal now. Dixon missing. Clark fighting for the rebound and can't get it as Morris Brown pulls it down. So Tech down by 15, 31-16. Has the ball with 5:25 to go. Benji Bowman driving, dishing it off. Francis misses. And we get a foul called. It's going to be on the youngster from Southampton. So Bobby Moses called for the foul. It'll be 1-1 on the other end.
There's Bobby Moses. He's going to be called on his foul. Now you can see the Post defense losing a little bit of, there's a foul over there, but you can see the Post defense losing a little bit of its enthusiasm. Their hands are down. They are not combating that drive to the basket. And there's a foul by Moses.
15 points, the biggest lead of the game. And as we see, free throws getting set to be shot by Charles Thomas, the 6'5", 210-pound junior out of East New York High School in Brooklyn. Charlie, a transfer from Mercer Community College, doesn't get the first one. He's averaging just 42% from the line, 5.8 points a ball game, a high of 7 against Quinnipiac. A hustler, a rebounder, and he's really giving them a good lift here. They've brought in a couple of junior college players who had some experience playing some tough community college ball, and Tom Galeese pleased with both of them, both Mike Clark and Charlie Thomas stand. As Moses puts it up, no good. Sanford has it knocked away, and it's going to remain in the hands of the Tech Bears as we get another Tech substitution, Kenny Robinson replacing Benji Bowman. Well, Sam Stern using a lot of people here, Stan, looking for some kind of combination that's going to play effectively.
And you're right. That means the combination that's out there is not effective. What he's got to do is he's got to stick with the ball club until they get some kind of a sync and rhythm going.
Al Davis missing, and Davis following no good in the lane. And another jump ball, alternate possession, this time goes over to the Tech club. 4:43 to go. Tech down by 15. This is the biggest deficit they faced all night. It was 25-10 when they ran off 6 points in a row. That's Al Davis, the 6'3", 200-pound junior from Maryland.
post in the 2-3 zone. And what they're going to try to do is rest a little bit. On any inbounds play, post goes a 2-3 zone. They protect the inside, the belly, the painted area.
Sanford working on the youngster from New Jersey, and the foul going to be called against Charlie Thomas. Thomas is first, and the fifth on the team.
Charlie Thomas averaging 4.3 rebounds a game, is very physical, but what he did was he fouled with the knee. Of course, the body, the chest area is permissible, but he put his knee out, and that is a foul.
Hayden replaces Greg Dixon in the lineup for the Post Pioneers. Sanford, who took the most shots on the ball club last year, has it knocked out of bounds. A lot of contact there, but good defense on the part of the Post Pioneers. Sanford didn't get up very high and had a shot rejected. What's the psychological effect when that happens, Stan?
Really nothing, because if you play the game long enough, you reject, you become rejected, you reject others. So if you're a ball player, you have amnesia, you forget.
Nice pass, Moses. I don't know if it was a pass or a shot, but Davis puts it in. Al Davis with his first points of the night. 31-18, the lead is 13. Davis very muscular, strong. Not a good leaper, but good around the basket. Hayden. Nice pass for Henderson. As he turned, Davis was there. Someone else got a piece of him also. Let's see if the foul will be on Davis. And Mike Henderson, very offensive-minded. When he gets the ball in the paint, you know that he's going to make a strong move.
And you know what's nice about Mike Henderson? That he knows when Doug Hayden has the ball, he's going to get the ball, so he posts up. When you know you're not going to get the ball, you don't really look for the ball. You don't hunt for the ball. So Dougie Hayden, you got to credit Dougie Hayden to being there. He's a heady kid. He had to step in there. And again, Mike Henderson, 235 pounds, demands that ball and can do something with it when he gets it.
Well, he's the franchise inside so far tonight. He has 9 points, looking for double figures. He's 3 for 5 from the line. The foul on Davis was his second. So Mike now 3 for 6 from the charity stripe. Averaging just 60% from the line this year, off of last year when he had 72%. Has a high this year of 27 points last night against Pace. That's also a career high. His previous career high had been 25 against Quinnipiac.
Post keeping the pressure on. It's a 2-2-1 zone, but they really match up. And as soon as the ball's on the floor, they're going to double up. Now everybody has to hustle back, and Peck has to be very, very deliberate and see if they can get that ball inside.
Moses dropping it out to Kenny Robinson. They've done a good job on Robinson. He's a guy that has to score a lot. Their leading scorer with averaging over 15.5 points a game. Hasn't been able to really penetrate. He played for the AAU club, Stan, that Riverside Church team. They had some of the best players in the metropolitan area playing. As Davis puts it airborne, he was fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. But Kenny Robinson, before he's through, is going to turn a lot of heads in college ball.
Sam Stern believes that he's a Peter Edwards. Here's Davis going to the basket, going inside. Now, he can't go all the way, and that is a credit to good defense. There is a foul, but you've got to give the credit to Al Davis that he took that giant step, went to the glass, and drew the foul.
Al, transfer from Trinidad, Colorado Junior College, where he was a starting guard for 2 years. Averaged 21 points, and assistant coach Barry Peckman, one of 4 assistants that Sam Stern has, recruited this young man. Al out of Marbury, Maryland, hits the second, and it's 32-20. The lead is 12. It had been 15. They can get it under 10, Stan. They'll certainly go into the second half, feeling that they've got a good opportunity to get back in this.
Again, Sam Stern has to pick 5 ball plays and go with those 5 ball plays so that he has a combination that will work. Right now, he's still running people in and out. This looks like a pretty good combination, and they've stabilized.
Clark open in the corner. He's been deadly from that spot. He makes it 5 for 5. 10 points for Mike Clark. And with 2:50 to go, the lead is 14. As we watch Davis knocked away by Hayden, but recovered by the Bears. Moses missing outside, follows it up, and gets the basket. So Bobby Moses out of Southampton now with 4 points. He has played sparingly in the early going. Moses has played just in 2 games and has scored just 2 points this year.
You listen to what coaches always taught the ball player, that shoot the ball and follow the shot.
Horton missing from outside. Now we'll have a jump ball. No, we have a foul call. Well, Stan, in Horton and Clark, they seem to have 2 very good perimeter shooters. They can shoot from the wings. Horton, of course, now playing the guard spot. That's something that's going to open up the middle for Henderson when the forwards can't and your other off guard can't come out to play the ball.
Right, but the only thing Post is missing is that real strong forward like a Nick Jenkins that made everybody honest.
Watch this. The layup is good. Kenny Robinson. Tom Galisi roaring. He's calling for discontinued dribble. He's jumping on. We can get a shot at Tom Galisi arguing with the referee just in front of us. Oh, was he livid, Stan, just a moment ago. He was doing a discontinued dribble up and down. There you see Tom. He's the guy that gets upset when he thinks the call's gone against him, and he can't believe it.
Well, what the official is doing is to defend himself on his call, and he doesn't really have to defend himself because he's the man on the spot. But he feels there was a walk, but there was no dribble in between. So there was a dribble, fumble, and a shot. Tom feels that there was a dribble, fumble, and a dribble, which is a walk.
34-25. Now the score down to 9 points, so they have made it a 9-point ball game. First time they've been under double figures in quite a while. Biggest lead was 15 just a short time ago.
So what's happening now is Tech is playing real tough man-to-man defense. They're doing a job. Most men are doing a job on Mike Henderson.
Morris Brown with the steal, and this is Kenny Robinson. They can close within 7 here. Davis looking for help. Sanford out of his range there. So he goes back to Robinson. Moses has helped this comeback. He's been in the ball game. Hasn't been playing much. Robinson with 1:38 to go. Stops and pops. And bad defensive play there. They left an opening for Moses to just slip right in. Somebody didn't box out, Stan.
I believe it was Kevin Horton. You'll see Kevin Horton. Moses will slip in. Kevin Horton did not take his man off, did not go into the 3-second area himself defensively, and Moses knocks it in.
Off the clock, miss. Henderson misses, and a 7-point lead can be down to 5 with 1:10 to go. So Tech has scratched their way right back in this game. And Bobby Moses has been a key factor. Young man from Southampton. He has 6 points in the comeback. Lob for Sanford, but an offensive foul. It's going to go against Tech as they pushed off. It's going to be on Mo Sanford trying to get position. And here's a look at Sam Stern, one of the winningest coaches in his 10th year. Came into this year with a very impressive record of 161 and 59. Hasn't coached in 2 years. Took the team to the 79-80 finals in Division II. When they lost to Virginia Union 82-76. Had some great players on that team. Kelvin Hicks, Larry McCartan, Bobby Jones. Remember them?
Oh, do I remember them. We played that ball club in this gym.
Free throw by Charlie Thomas is good. Now Tech had outscored Post 25-23 since the bad start that they had when they were down 11-2. So they have done a good job here after falling behind, and they have cut the deficit, but right now it's back to 9. We've got 53 seconds to go. Robinson. Oh, and losing a good pass that time was Morris Brown. So a couple of the freshmen trying to work a play there, and Brown at a JFK in New York City loses the ball. Turnovers have hurt Tech, but they're still in this ball game.
And Brown is learning. And what you try to do by enforcing that kind of a defense is quicken the tempo, and catching and throwing is different at a higher speed.
Well, Greg Dixon's on the bench for quite some time here in this late first half action as Doug Hayden drops it back outside.
Post doesn't really have that power forward. Now they got everybody outside. They're working for one shot, but they need someone to be able to go to that basket, draw the foul, bring the defensive man out, and open it up for Henderson.
9 seconds left in the half. Hayden, nice passes. He spotted Charlie Thomas inside. And that they do it. 3 seconds. 2, can they get it off? Moses, it would count if it went, but it does not go. And that ends an interesting first half of basketball with Post leading Stan Keller 38-27.
And Post came back because they controlled the tempo at the end. They got the one good shot, and Charlie Thomas is the man that really personifies that strong forward that Post needs. He's going to be essential and a key ball player for Post this year. Nice comeback by New York Tech.
Well, they had cut it to 7, and now it's back to 11. And so at the end of the first half, the Post Pioneers have an 11-point lead. I'm Barry Landers with Stan Keller on the Miller High Life scoreboard. It's Tech trailing Post. You are watching the Long Island Sports Network.
Hey guys, hey you! It's a good friend. Ready? Ready as I'll ever be. Tonight is kind of special. Whoa! First one down by the lower brow. Here we'll pour. We'll say something more somehow. So tell me, were you scared? No. Tonight
Me too.
It takes guts to redesign one of the world's most popular cars. Introducing Toyota Corolla Reborn. This family sedan was reborn to please you with more comfort. Reborn to please your family with more room. Reborn to please anyone with its mileage and affordability. The 1984 front-wheel drive Toyota Corolla. Reborn to please the world.
If you've been putting off those home repairs, or driving a car that drives you nuts, you should get a goodbye loan from the Bank of New York. We've got home improvement loans and loans for new and used cars, all at guaranteed fixed rates. So say goodbye.
Bye, old clunker.
To just getting by with a guaranteed fixed rate goodbye loan. Only from the Bank of New York. Call Action Phone and apply for yours now.
Down here at halftime at the CW Post New York Tech game, CW Post leading by a score of 38-27. My halftime guest, the football coach here at CW Post, Coach Tom Marshall. Coach, welcome.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. We really enjoyed basketball.
Let me ask you something. You said when you got the job that you were very excited about the opportunity. You're coming off a 5-5 season. Are you as excited now as before?
Oh, yes. We ended on a very positive note, and we're looking forward to next year. Our recruiting is going well, and all our players are working hard.
You mentioned recruiting. How much right after the season, do you have a lapse in any, or a break, or do you go right into the recruiting, looking for your athletes for next season?
Yeah, we're right into it. We're going to work hard now for probably about the next 3 or 4 weeks, and then we're going to relax a little bit.
Well, let's talk a little bit about football in the metropolitan area this year. Of course, Post had a fine season, 5-5. You can't overlook the seasons that same. Back down here on the court at CW Post, Carl Reuter, along with my second halftime guest, the Sports Information Director here at Post University, Bill Huffman. Bill, welcome.
Thank you very much, and it's great for the LASN to be here on a great night of Long Island basketball.
Talking about basketball, why don't you tell us a little bit about a trip that you took the Post basketball team this summer? You went to Hungary. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it? It must have been a learning experience.
It was a tremendous experience for our kids. We're one of the few teams to ever win championships 6,000 miles apart. We captured the Big Apple Conference title right here at Connolly Gym. And then in May, we went on a 21-day, 10-game tour of Hungary. We were the first U.S. collegiate team to go to Hungary, and we played 9 games over there. We compiled a 6-3 mark, and we won the Chepel International Cup. We beat Metallic Valjevo, which is the 19th ranked team in Argentina. We beat North Mon of Cork, a club team over there. And we beat the host team, Chapel, 76-74 to win the cup. And the cup is beautiful. You have to see it.
I'm sure I'd like to see it after the telecast if you show me. How does the team get picked? I mean, how was Post picked to go over there?
Well, the People to People Sports Group, which is a non-profit organization, tries to find U.S. colleges to go over abroad in various sports. And we were contacted in March about going to Hungary. Dr. Laszlo Nemeth, who is the coach of Chapel, was over here for a couple of clinics and wanted a U.S. team to come to Hungary in the worst way. He did everything he could. They rolled out the red carpet for us. Our kids were treated like NBA All-Stars. It was an incredible experience for them. And as you see, our players won't complain too much about the officiating being back in the U.S. because it couldn't have been much worse.
Let's talk a little bit about it over there. Getting away from the basketball, did the players have much time, and you yourself and everybody that was involved with Post, did you have much time to go around and see the sights?
Well, there's quite a bit of traveling, and we sometimes kid about it. The Hungarians want us to see everything, maybe to tire us out a little bit on the court. But they showed us everything from salami factories. We visited 2 salami factories, to where pottery was made in Pécs, to the Turkish baths, and they actually had Roman ruins in Budapest. I didn't know that until I got there. It was just a tremendous experience for us to sample the food of Hungary, to meet the people, and all the notions that we had about a communist country, I think were just totally disregarded when you get to know the people, and basketball takes over as the international language.
Well, maybe salami was your favorite thing, looking at the salami factory there. We appreciate you coming by, telling us a little bit about that trip, and I take you up on that, and I'd like to see that trophy.
Very good call, and I'd like to again thank the Long Island SN for coming out to see us.
Okay, my guest has been Bill Huffman, the Sports Information Director here at CW Post. We'll have more from CW Post College following this timeout. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
guys at Light Beer from Miller have had a lot of laughs, but this time we'd like to share some personal sentiments. Have a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and a Happy New Year, too.
Yeah.
And this holiday, may there be bass under all your lily pads. May all your pockets be full.
Feliz Navidad. Peace.
We wish you everything you always wanted in a Christmas.
And more.
You know, I'm glad they asked me to do this commercial. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
If you've been getting by with your old car because you couldn't swing the payments on a new one, you ought to get a goodbye loan from the Bank of New York at a guaranteed fixed annual rate. Then you can say hello to a nice new car and
Goodbye, old clunker.
to your old one. The goodbye
27, and let's look at these statistics. Stan, post field goal percentage, some 7 points better than Tech. Tech perfect at the free-throw line, but they only had 3 for 3. And the big difference, Post shot 10 for 20, Stan. So what a difference in the free-throw percentage. You look at field goals, Post has just 2 more field goals than Tech. But the free throws have been a difference here as they've scored 10 of their points at the free throw line. Individually, as we the other forward for you in a moment. As Morris Brown misses the jumper, Greg Dixon, who had 6 steals, 10 is his record for one game, pulls the rebound down. Greg averages around 3 rebounds. Inside for Henderson, moves right in on Brown, misses, and he was fouled as he followed up, and that seems to be the pattern. Post going to the boards very hard, following up missed shots and getting a second opportunity, either getting fouled or making the basket.
Mike Henderson really matured as a player on this Hungary trip. When he went abroad and he played the big, strong European players that play a very physical ball game, Mike has gained some weight. He wants that ball inside and has such a strong drop step.
Off the missed shot. Taking that time by Post. Here come the Tech club. Robinson missing outside. The follow is good for Morris Brown. So Brown with a total now of 8 points, and the lead is 9, 38-29.
Here's Brown going to come up with that ball, and this is what Brown is doing. Henderson is not getting Brown off the boards, and Brown is looking for that ball, just going to get it and shooting it right up. No fake.
And Clark getting inside is fouled as he went to the hoop. Clark starting up front with Larry. For those guys, as Clark at the line for the first time tonight, now has a total of 11 points. We are going to get a substitution.
What a difference Mo Sanford has in 12 months. A year ago, he just burned Post with his outside shooting. Now he's sitting on a bench saddled with 4 fouls.
Good form for Clark as he hits the free throws to make it 40-29. 12 points for Clark. His high 17 this year, and they put some token pressure on here.
Isn't it interesting? Dixon is not on a ball defensively. He's off the ball where he can make the steals.
It is an interesting development. Robinson in the corner. Bowman, who's not a good outside shot. Davis getting the step on Horton, laying it up and in. No basket. And they call a foul on Davis. Pushing off on the drive as he got the step. That's 4 on Davis, so they've got 2 players, Sanford and Davis with 4, Robinson with 3. Dixon, nice move.
See, Greg did what a good point guard has to do. Drive to the basket, ready to score, not ready to pass the ball off. He had good pinpoint concentration, and he nailed it off the glass.
Dixon, who was 0 for 2 shooting from the field in the first half, comes up with a steal. Now 3 stolen by Davis, and Dixon going to be called.
No one was really interested in him. In fact, Post was the only school they got him. Jim Boatwright in charge of the program, they didn't want Dix. And I said, take Dix because he completes all of his plays on the court and will stay in school for 4 years, and that's what Greg Dixon has done.
Anthony Francis with the layup, so the freshman now with 2 points out of Stevenson High School, where he was a teammate of Kenny Robinson, both freshmen. Kevin Horton now 3 for 9 from outside, and this is Robinson leading the 3-on-1. Dixon back, and he just lays off.
didn't want to commit that costly fourth foul, and Robinson makes it 42-33, back to a 9-point lead.
Here's Kenny Robinson bringing it on the middle. Now, he will look off the defensive play with his eyes, but go to the basket and ladle it right up over the front of the rim, and that is good basketball.
He's an outstanding player. He was a very highly recruited player, Kenny Robinson.
See, most players, Barry, will make a decision before they get the ball, or when they get the ball, what they're going to do with it. He read the defense.
Off the miss inside by Jones. The follow is good by Henderson, and it's 44-33. Henderson with 12 points. Henderson averaging 18.5 a game. This is Bowman getting inside, knocked down by Jones, and quickly Henderson up court. This is Kevin Horton. Clark pulling up. And Horton has it knocked out of his hand. It'll still be CW Post ball as they lead by 11, and with 16:51 they'll trigger it in under their own basket.
Last year, Kevin Horton ended plays. If he didn't score, he was going to take a shot. But this year, he's giving the ball off so naturally.
And Horton finally gets the jump shot to go, and yes, count the...
When you give the ball off, and then when you get the ball back again and you have your shot, it goes in.
Mike Henderson was called for a foul away from the ball, and the basket counted. Henderson commits the foul on Henderson. That's his second. Robinson leading the break again, pulling up. Tough luck on the rebound off the rim. And it's back to 15. It's Mike Clark following the miss. And Clark now with 14 points, 3 shy of his CW Post high of 17.
He was thinking basket when he went to the hole because Larry Jones was wide open.
Benji Bowman missing. Francis puts it up. Batted around, and Bowman gets it back. Almost 4 minutes gone in the second half. Barry Landers along with Stan Keller here on the Long Island Sports Network. Rob Williams throwing it right into the hands of Greg Dixon. So Dixon with another steal here. Going all the way. Nice pass off to Kevin Horton for the easy two.
I don't mean to make this the Greg Dixon show, but he accelerated. He ran 2 speeds.
Playing some pretty good basketball in the BCAC Metro region. And we'll have some good basketball coming up. Don't forget our next game, St. John's in Manhattan next week. Men's and women's doubleheader. Underneath, up and in for CW for New York Tech. As the 2 points right there.
Herman Brown.
Herman Brown.
6'7", junior.
Herman Brown, a 6'7" junior from Oakland, California, out of a junior college in California. Mike Henderson off the glass and in, powering his way to make it a 17-point lead again.
Here's Henderson coming right back into the play. He gave up a basket defensively. He decides to go back offensively and go right to the glass.
Now we get a foul. Jonathan Perez. Check it, it's going to be on Kevin Horton. And that'll be his first and the third on the team. As we've got another tech substitution, so Sam Stern again looking for the right combinations. And in the backcourt will be Kenny Robinson. He'll work with Bobby Moses in the backcourt. That's Moses. Dixon looking for the steal. And Moses misses. Henderson for a bit of Dixon. He's got Horton on the wing. Drops it back to the trailer. And Horton will pop from outside. Can't get it. Strong rebound by Moses. This is Kenny Robinson with Williams on the wing. And getting a little wild underneath. Follow up and iron off the glass for Kenny Robinson. Robinson, who had a high of 22 against Rochester Tech this year, now with a total of 9 points in the ball game. He's averaging 15.5.
A lot of blue shirts in there on those offensive boards, and that's why they're scoring, not at will, but that's most of their offense is on their second and third shot.
Inside, banged up and getting the roll was Charlie Thomas. 6'5", 210-pound junior, the transfer from Mercer Community College with 6 points now. He's averaging 5.8, one below his high 7. Look at Kenny Robinson go. He's an exciting, flashy kind of player, they told us. And the freshman gets 2, and he's going to be trying for 3 here as we see CW Post coach Tom Galisi rushing in a substitution as Larry Jones will check into the ball game, replacing Mike Anderson.
Herb Merkel, the SID over at New York Tech, told me that Kenny Robinson takes Jays all around the perimeter, doesn't go to the basket. Well, he must be a great SID, but he's not a great scout. Kenny Robinson's going to the basket very well.
He's exciting, penetrates, runs the break well. He's quite a find for Sam Stern. As we mentioned, very highly recruited, played for the Riverside Church team, went to the National Junior AAU Olympics, made that team. It's not big enough, perhaps, for Division I, but he's playing excellent ball here. Oh, look at Dixon and Jones work that play.
All you have to do, if you're a forward on CW Post, when Dixon starts penetrating, just get to the block and look for the ball. Now here's Greg on a spin move, goes to drive, but sees Larry over the basket, rewards the young freshman from Uniondale.
6 points for Jones, and for Kenny Robinson now, he has 12 after backing that in. 56-42, plenty of time left. It's a 14-point lead. The biggest lead was 17. 13:06 to go here in the second half. That's Perez. Very good defensive player, Perez. Ball away for Dixon. Can't get it to go, and looks like Charlie Thomas going to be called for a rebounding foul, number 41. So that'll be timeout taken on the court on the Miller High Life scoreboard. CW Post leading by 14, and we'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
Introducing a Wonder Wagon.
Wonder what it is!
Introducing the new 1984 Toyota van. You'll wonder why no one ever thought of it before.
I wonder if it's a car. I wonder if it's a van.
It looks like nothing you've ever seen before. It can seat 7, sleep 4, or carry 1,500 pounds of apples. You can even get an ice maker. And 2 sunroofs.
I know, it's a condominium.
Make no mistake about it, the new Toyota van.
And we are the Bears. The Battle of Northern Boulevard taking place here, and jam-packed crowd. This is the third sellout they've had here at Conley Gymnasium. And Stan, there's been so much interest here in basketball, really starting last year, late in the season, when they won the Big Apple Conference and went on to play in the NCAA tournament, that there's talk about expanding, perhaps building a new gymnasium here on the Post campus. And with the interest that we've seen tonight and in the recent games, especially late last year, it might be a good idea.
Well, they've certainly got the facility here, or I should say the land to put the facility on. But that's a big investment, and right now the Post is tied in with LIU and Southampton, and I guess the money is tied in with these other schools, but it would be a perfect environment for a Division I facility.
All right now, Post leading by 14, and they put pressure on the ball in the backcourt, having trouble with it. The freshman Brown intercepted, and Kevin Horton, who wasn't hitting the outside shot, gets the 2 points there. He has 12, and the lead is 16.
You're going to see Kevin Horton on a steal. You see Tommy Galisi put the team in a defensive press, got the ball. Now he's going to go up to stuff it, but decides at the second time to just to finger roll it in.
Back to the live action argument under the basket as we had a shot rejected out of bounds, and Tech arguing that it should have been their ball. However, Post gets it. Now Tech putting on some token pressure. They break it easily. Horton and Charlie Thomas can't handle the ball, and it's turned over.
Charlie Thomas playing about 15 minutes of ball game, but before the season's up, he's going to be playing 20 minutes of ball game because he has the body to play that strong forward that Post needs.
Larry Jones has a lot of potential, but he's a wiry kid, 6'7", 190, and he's going to have to grow and fill into that position, but he's got all the tools, Larry Jones. Here's a kid at 6'7", 195 who looks pretty good tonight as Morris Brown connects and the ball thrown away.
Well, there's a trip. Larry Jones was tripped, and number 4, Robert Williams.
That'll be 4 on Williams. Now Kenny Robinson going to sit down or have a word at least with Sam Stern. Sam, quite a strategist in his own right. Was a star at Yeshiva University, played at Wingate High School, teammate of Roger Brown's, by the way, Stan. Remember Roger Brown, what a great basketball player he was. Jones makes it 60-44. You think of all the great basketball players that came out of Brooklyn.
Well, what else is there to do in Brooklyn? What else is there to do in Brooklyn?
I grew up in the Bronx. You grew up out here, I think. Here's a look at Tom Galisi, and defense is such a key word in his philosophy, Stan. Tom preaches defense. You're not going to play for post unless you play defense.
There are nights when you can't buy a basket. There'll be times in a ballgame where you can't buy a basket, but defensively you can always play 100%.
Tipped away inside from Rob Williams. Horton, he's stolen by Morris Brown, but over and back. So the Post Pioneers will get the ball back.
Tech is going to make a run at the Pioneers, but they just don't have enough time left to really make this a ball game. But they will make a run.
You'll recall late in the first half they did make a run. They were down by 15, cut it to 7, had a chance to make it 5. Nice pass inside. Thomas finding the freshman, Larry Jones.
That was Mike Clark.
Mike Clark, rather. The two forwards working nicely there.
And Larry Jones pinning his man inside and just keeping him off with his body.
Rob Williams missing underneath. And as Brown started to go up, we had a foul before the shot. And looks like Clark will be called for the foul. It'll be a 1-and-1. They're over the limit. That's the second on Clark. Largest lead so far for Post has been 18 points. And it's right now at 62-44. As we're going to get substitution, Francis coming in for Tech, number 30. Anthony Francis, 6'4" and 75-pound freshman. Actually, he'll be shooting the free throw. He'll come to the bench for a moment. He has just 2 points in the ball game, averaging 8 points and 4.5 rebounds. And doing a good job coming off the bench, getting a lot of free throws because he's an aggressive player, gets a lot of garbage. As you can see around the hoop, he was there looking for that offensive rebound. Morris Brown leading Tech with 10 rebounds. But Post pretty much has dominated the boards. Francis missing that one. And it's a 17-point lead as Hayden gets it up to Jones. This is Clark. Nice inside pass for Jones. He loses to Francis. And they can close to within 16. Still a lot of time. 10:55 to go. Moses with the open jumper. And Clark comes down with it. Cross court to Horton. Pulls up. Horton's outside shot not falling tonight. And this is Robinson 3-on-1. Nice pass. Moses misses, but there was contact. And there's going to be a foul on Doug Hayden.
Moses went very hard. Not under complete control, but he gets the ball. Now there's number 21. Kenny Robinson bringing the ball up and stopping this time. He has established himself going to the basket, but this time he stops, sees his teammate over on the left wing, and gives it to him.
So Moses played sparingly, and played just in 2 games, played about 6 minutes coming into this game, has 6 points. He'll get another one here as he misses the first. Former start Southampton High School. So 2 important free throws missed. And the lead remains 17 for the Post Pioneers. They're 3-1 trying to make it 4-1. Tech trying to avert its first loss as it's recovered by Horton. Seems to be a couple of wet spots on the floor stand. A lot of the players slipping around that same area, although they haven't toweled it off. Clark with the drive. One official calls it one way, and let's see where it's going to go. Without the ball, and it would be a free throw. So Rob Williams goes to the line looking for his first point on the night. He's had a tough night. Youngster from Uniondale misses that one. They hurt themselves missing a couple of these free throws, especially on the last 2 sequences.
You have a tendency to try to get back 4 or 5 points at a time. When you're taking one shot, you try too hard.
Jones. Back to Clark.
Got to come back basket at a time.
So they're playing without their big guard, Greg Dixon, on the bench. 3:45 to go.
Post is playing a soft zone press. They really want to, well, it's not that soft, but they want to make Tech work for the ball and get the ball down and consume some time.
Game getting a little sloppy on both ends now, as each club has turned it over.
Games get sloppy when the bodies get tired.
9:20 to go. Post trying to avert the 50 or get revenge for the 50. Catching and throwing at a higher speed, you make those kind of mistakes. Rob Williams
it's not going to be goaltending. On its
Reached its zenith. Had not reached its zenith.
Oh, I like that.
Well, I've been watching
Has not reached its zenith. Is that a hockey term?
When you're in Edmonton watching TV basketball on NBC and CBS, you look for something like that. We've got a couple of your colleagues, Al McGuire and
Zenith, huh?
the Zenith, the Apex or the Zenith.
Sounds like a TV. And I'll have a 19-inch Zenith.
All right, Post trying to increase the lead. Clark can't get the roll. Tipped around. Interesting, Stan, with Henderson and Dixon both on the sidelines. Tech has not been able to make a run.
Because of the pace. Again, it's going up, back and forth. They're not converting. But there's a conversion.
There's a guy who's going to be doing a lot of converting. Robinson with 16 points. So he's above his average, his high 22 in his brief college career, which has gone 4 games. He was the MVP of the tourney. They played in a all-tech tourney out in Chicago against Division III schools. Jones putting it off the glass. Gets the bounce for the 12-footer. And Larry Jones in double figures with 12 points. Youngster out of Uniondale, very highly recruited, and they're very pleased with him here. He's going to develop into one of the best players that Post has had, they feel, at 6'7", 190. He's got some room to fill out, Stan.
And as a freshman at that size, he's playing very good defense, so he's only going to get better when he gets 10 or 15 pounds stronger.
Comes from a good program. Russ Bastian, they're always Uniondale. They seem to be the bridesmaids recently in the Nassau playoffs as we see a shot put up and missed by Tech. But Anthony Francis puts it in. He has 5 points. And it's 64-49, a 15-point lead for Post. 7:12 to go.
Important possession by Post. If they don't score a basket, they've got to at least burn at least a minute off the clock.
Thomas going up hard to the basket and was fouled. And the Lady Express, the women's basketball team for St. John's. Thomas doesn't get the roll. He has 6 points, and he'll try it all over again. Stan, your early season impressions of the St. John's Redmond basketball team?
Well, you like the St. John's team is playing so well together, but Bill Winnington is truly awesome inside. I have never seen a center at St. John's so big and play so aggressive and so physical. Bring on Pat Ewing.
And speaking of centers playing well, Mike Henderson checks back in the lineup after getting a rest. Charlie Thomas sits down with 7 points. He's done well since coming over, and he's going to be a key factor on this team post-success this year. They'll be playing Sacred Heart here in a couple of weeks, the team that has defeated them, their only loss that they've had this year. Robinson having a little trouble, gets it across now, and number 10 is Michael Evans with the ball right now.
I spoke to Tom Galizia just a moment ago. We were changing nets, and he said we're going to keep the pressure on. Now, you may think that this press isn't effective, even though they scored the basket. It is, because it took the Tech team about 45 seconds to bring the ball up and get a good shot.
Stan, Mo Sanford got that last basket. Do you think they waited too long, 7 minutes or so left to bring him back in the game when they were trailing by 17?
You may be right. The game may be out of reach, but I still feel the next 2 minutes is still time enough to get back in a ball game. They've got to make their run now, and they are making their run now.
Sanford blocking that shot of Henderson as Robinson pushes it up, spots the open man. Rob Williams going in and was fouled. Williams, who has not shot. And you have to.
That almost put the lid on the ball game.
Moses missing. Francis getting position. Yes, count the basket, and he was fouled. Looks like Kevin Horton.